comments to the public at this time. Anybody wishing to address the board may do so.
Okay. I'm Jason Andrew from 20 Pratt Street, and I'm representing North St. Martinite with my board member Joshua Kretzer from Plattsburgh. And I see on the agenda that we are going to be talking about my request for the Civic Center. I'm here to be able to answer questions about the summer school arts program for kids and the usage of the Civic Center for that time. We put together a little bit of a project description, a program description for the school. It'll be offered for adults and for kids, but primary focus is for the children. And the main center of the program is going to be inviting some established and quite famous artists from New York City, musicians, painters, sculptors, and choreographers, building upon like what we did with Fed the Dance the past 5 years. It'll be more interactive, more interdisciplinary, and open and free for kids. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? If not, you'll have a chance at the end of the meeting. All right, minutes of the previous meeting. You'll have copies of the minutes board. Is there any additions or deletions? If not, entertain a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for a meeting of January the 4th.
Second. Moved by trustee Burns, seconded by trustee Baker. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Bills. You have a copy of all the bills, $400,000. And the treasurer is not here, but I heard that he had a couple of additions, so he's gonna have to work that in if he comes in. Is there any additions or deletions? And I know there are 2 additions, but I don't know when they're gonna get them.
We need to get paid this time, or wait?
Oh, you gotta pay them. We have to pay them.
Yeah, there are additions.
You want the creditors to close the door on us?
Wow, why not? There's our man. What am I supposed to do?
Make a motion, payments, printed.
Make a motion to pay the bills with the additions, even though we're holding our hand for our treasurer, which I'm sure he'll be forthwith and honest, and we have to pay him, so.
I'll second that motion.
Moved by trustee Burt, seconded by trustee Roberts. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Correspondence.
Yes.
You got the floor, Tracy.
Alrighty, I have a couple things for you. First, we have a letter from Montgomery Hose, Hook and Ladder. It reads, Honorable Mayor and Village Trustees, we wish to inform you of a new member who has been approved to our company for a probationary period of 6 months. This prospective member is a member with restrictions because they are under the age of 18. Sebastian Berry of 83 Maple Street here in Rouses Point. Please act on this member, and we thank you for your time in this matter. We need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve Sebastian Berry.
I'll second that motion.
Moved by trustee Burt, seconded by trustee Roberts. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Okay, next we have a letter from the Library Director, Donna Bowmill, to Mayor Rivers and the trustees, and it reads, Dear Mayor Rivers and Board of Trustees, Happy New Year. The Rouses Point Dodge Memorial Library wishes to thank you for the support you have given us in 2009 and look forward to working with you in 2010. During the past 6 months, the Rouses Point Dodge Memorial Library has been extremely busy focusing on community needs and involvement. In doing so, the library has increased its hours open to the public to 35 hours a week, provided workshops, story hours, and outreach services. The library also offers many services at no cost to the public, such as computer, internet, Wi-Fi access, conferencing, meeting room space, local newspapers, and a variety of media. In addition to providing services to the public, 12 books were donated to local elementary schools and a middle and high school. Additionally, many workshops and programs have been provided at no cost to the public. These include game days, music appreciation club, book clubs, author and storyteller presentations, art shows, preschool story hour, card making, scrapbooking, meet the author, e-senior computer classes, make the most of meetings, job search workshops, and library visits from local students. Beginning in September, outreach services including book delivery and story hour have been provided in preschools in Rouses Point and Champlain. Daycare, senior housing in Rouses Point, and visits to multi-age classrooms at Rouses Point Elementary. It has been a great pleasure working with you and your staff, and I look forward to 2010. And then finally, we have a letter from the Clinton County Health Department in response to Mayor George Rivers. And it reads, Dear Mayor Rivers, in response to your recent inquiry regarding the village considering reducing the hours of the water plant staff operation, my initial reaction is, if it isn't broke and it's operating well, don't fix it. More specifically, as we have previously reported in our annual inspection reports to the village, not only has your water plant been exceptionally well operated by your staff over the last decade, the efforts expended in 2009 had finally resulted in maximizing plant operation to be compliant with applicable federal, state, and county regulations.
There's a lot more to that correspondence, we're just reading the first paragraph. We go on to say, and I can just add to it, if we even consider shutting it down for a shift or two, it's gonna be a considerable expense in automating the chlorine system so that it is monitored. There's just too much danger involved here in trying to operate a system with nobody there. The health of the people come first. If this letter will be on file in the village, if anybody wants to read the rest of it. Thanks, Tracy.
Yep,
That it?
that's it.
All right, report of the mayor and trustees. Authorized I got two to attend the NICOM winter legislative meeting in Albany, but does anybody else want to go? I don't know about trustee Jefferson because he's amongst the missing. He's down there bathing himself in Florida.
There we go.
Send them anyways.
Anyway, I'll make a motion to authorize two to go to trustee Roberts and myself.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by trustee Baker, seconded by trustee Burns. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Second thing on the agenda is appointing a chairperson and a deputy chairperson for the planning board. And at this time, I am appointing John Cooper as chairman and Tom Patha as vice chairman, and that I need board approval.
Make a motion that we approve those two appointments.
Second.
Moved by trustee Roberts, seconded by trustee Burns. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Last thing on my agenda is just a discussion. In light of what happened to the town of Dedamora in the Public Works building, and losing all their equipment to a fire, the only building in this village, other than this one, now this one here I don't know about, but how will we do it? But the only building that we don't have protected is the Public Works building, and I'm suggesting that we put a fire alarm system in that building. I've got some people coming in next week to give us a quote. I don't,
Minutes
I
definitely make a
absolutely think
difference.
it's a necessity.
Absolutely.
In our case, it's not just highway equipment we lose a hell of an inventory for electrical. And I don't think we can afford that.
No.
And that's it for me. And trustee Jefferson's among the missing, trustee Burt's.
The only thing I'd like to bring up, even though it's not really on my agenda, just to remind everybody that at the Dodge Memorial Library every Wednesday, it's gonna happen again on the 20th from 7 to 9, for those that need it, there's a job, gonna be a job program for the people in search of jobs, especially in this economy. No need to register, all you gotta do is call the library or show up from 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. So, I think that is well worth anybody that needs some assistance. I think it should be brought up as often as we can to help assist all our village residents and anybody in the area that would like to attend. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Burts. Trustee Baker?
All right, my first item is a discussion for the fee, for the use of the Civic Center, a fee for the use of the Civic Center.
All right. Have any-
We talked earlier last spring and talked about it. I suggested 500 a day. I don't know what the rest of the board would like to do. Civic Center in Plattsburgh's $1,500 a day.
Yeah.
We can't go on letting people use it for nothing. We got a bond for $168,000 out there, it's gotta be paid off, one way or another.
Well, I think under these economic times, it's fair and reasonable to suggest that we need some type of payment for the use of our facility, especially when it involves electricity and personnel and liability issues and insurances that we have to cover. So I think that 500 is reasonable, and I would be for that.
Well, we have a trade show coming in this summer, it's paying $500 a day. So, if you decided to stay here, Jason, you really need to get with Mike, because I don't know what the time frame is of that trade show. Okay? But you gotta understand, it costs us $168,000, well, actually, a little more than that, to put that ceiling in.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to bond everything.
No, I'm not here to, I wasn't suggesting that the village donate the entire facility to me for a week. In the past, we have paid for the usage of the Civic Center. And, we needed to have a discussion laid out. My argument lies in the fact that this is a nonprofit arts organization offering free workshops for kids. Last year, not last year, but for the past 5 years, I've run a ballet workshop, free for kids in the community. I've also done public murals with the kids. So, I mean, that's something that we would really need to be able to, we have to have a venue, we have to have a source of where this can happen. Ross's Point is my home, and there aren't a lot of arts programs happening in the summer, especially with the economy. I'm prepared to work with my board and being able to develop a budget. I'd like to suggest also in the letter that I wrote in December that the village board actually partner with us to put together this free arts program, which involves all kinds of different things, not just ballet, not just art, but also tennis instruction and swimming. So, it's a full usage. I'm not only asking for the Civic Center, but I would like to use the tennis courts and basketball and, So, whatever the board decides is what I'll have to go back to my board with. I would like to keep it in this community. We've had a lot of successes over the years with it, and the community seems to really enjoy the kind of programs that we've been able to work with, working with the Historical Society. So, Josh, do you have anything to add on that?
No, I just think that, in these times with young people looking for outlets and things to do in the small village of Rouses Point, it's just one more thing that you can add to your list of activities for young people, for adults, for families to come to interact with. Also, in 2008 with the ballet, bringing 500 people both from the community and from other communities to your area, using your restaurants, dining in your restaurants, being in your community, having to give back, it helps to just keep Rouses Point on the map as a place where, families can come to have a great time, where education is at the forefront too.
And if I could just remind the board, I think that setting a separate kind of schedule for nonprofit usage of the facility should be in order. My ballets that we've done in the past have not earned any money. They barely pay themselves off. You know, but I recognize that someone has to pay the light bill and, pay for everything that's been going on in there. I would like to just note though, if our board does decide to go ahead with whatever the fee schedule is with the Civic Center, that means we have full authorization to use the Civic Center, because we've actually, been doing ballet, or having ballet practice, or doing art, and having farm equipment in there as well. So, make a note of that.
I'd like to spin off on that just a tad. I kind of in favor of the nonprofit organizations. We have maybe a little bit lower rate, but I would like to add to that, like probably village residents would probably be given a cheaper rate than, say, an outfit from Plattsburgh or something like that. I think other communities do that. If you're within that community, you get a little bit, you get like a discount.
Well, I appreciate your faith in dance, and we in the community it has brought a lot of people in, but I think when you start incorporating our basketball program and our swimming program and our tennis program, those are things that are already funded by the town.
Yeah.
So we have people in place that are doing those things for us, and it's it's something that I don't exactly know what you're trying to. You broaden your base maybe, but those are things that been in these communities for a while. You brought something different, which I think a lot of people appreciated. Still do. We're certainly not sick of it. I look forward to seeing it every year. The show is great, but I think we have to come down to the reality that we need to be charging an acceptable rate. I think, I don't know, nonprofit, it's, maybe we can work something out, but I think the average person or the normal event venue is gonna be 500. I don't know, maybe we can discuss nonprofit, see if it's gonna be any different, but at this point, I don't feel that it should be any different right now.
Let me just clarify the ideas of the recreational side. The kids that would take the Champlain Learning Center, we've been working primarily with their group because it's local, it's easy. The kids can walk over to do ballet every day for 2 weeks. And they can participate in the art program as well. But at the same time, those things, the focus of a kid lasts about an hour at the most. So we were able to, I see the tennis courts unused. I've been here 6 years and I haven't seen a tennis program there. So I have an athlete, professional athlete, tennis athlete who is willing to come up. Of course, my arts organization will be responsible to take care of their fee so that they can provide, a lesson in the morning or in the afternoon. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that we take over the village programs. I'm not in a capacity to do that in a way. But I just see that there are some small things that, as a member of the community, I'm able to help organize and help facilitate. I do know that a nonprofit rate would be consistent across the board in any situation. I'm not saying it's a get out of jail free card, or but I do feel like over the course of the past couple of years we've gone from I don't recall what we paid the last time, what our fee was last time, $700 I think, but that was for the course of 3 weeks or something like that. It wasn't a daily rate. So we're looking to, the dates that I had scheduled were from the 7th to the 30th, and that's because we have to have time to build the ballet stage. The program specifically runs only a week. It's a Wednesday to a Wednesday, optimizing the one weekend and as much as we can during the week for the kids who are in school.
Well,
I'm not, I can also say, I'm not looking for an answer tonight. I mean, you might need
Right.
to
Well,
discuss it, and
for
then,
yours, I'm just thinking of not, yeah, we're gonna have to hold on for your answer, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready to give
but you
one.
do,
But we wanna, you know, try to reflect and, take everything that you got into consideration and see how it's gonna affect our other programs. And basically, we tie this up for a whole month, we really gotta make sure that, you know, if we got other things that are scheduled, we can get in there.
yeah. But I mean, I would need to know that, so I'd have to check with
Right.
Mike too, because I've always had that, the village has been so gracious to allow that to happen. So I've taken advantage of that situation and getting, run the program as much as I can, as long as I can,
Sure.
for the community. So,
All right, well, thank you, and we'll consider that.
thank you.
Thank you.
I think for the daily, everyday use now that we're thinking of, I think $500. I do make a motion that we do charge $500 for people that wanna use the Civic Center other than nonprofit, and maybe leave that door open. For now.
And we'll have to sit down and discuss it some more further, as far as I'm concerned anyways.
I have a motion on the floor, I need a second for discussion.
I made a motion for $500.
Okay, moved by trustee Burke, seconded by trustee Baker. Now, is there any discussion?
Do we wanna we'll leave out the non-profit at this time and find out?
You saw it, yeah.
Well, yeah, we gotta,
Yeah. I think that's a good idea at this point.
Yeah, why don't we leave it open so we can,
all right, we can leave that open for right now. And settle it the next 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
do the thing.
So this is for like vendors that would come in or something like that?
Yeah, shows
Yeah.
that there's,
That's reasonable.
we've never set a rate for that,
Yeah.
for the door. But when we got hit with this, we had to do something.
Yeah, we have no choice
We have to
anymore.
recoup our funds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and eventually we're gonna probably end up getting a dehumidifier in there at some
Yeah,
point.
that's what I'd like to go see.
So,
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor, vote by your sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. I think we hit both of those, Mr. Baker.
Yeah.
Trustee Baker?
We did. Yeah,
Is that it?
that's it for me.
Oh, thank you, sir. Trustee Roberts.
The first thing on my agenda, Mr. Mayor, is, as you know, during high groundwater conditions, the village of Rouses Point has experienced surcharging in approximately 3,100 feet of 18-inch asbestos cement piping. And basically, there's gravel and fine sand residue that's in that piping. And we need to actually, we're ready to go out to bid. The specifications have been finalized with Doug and Tom and Ernie and Brian and Trustee Burtz. So we are ready to go to bid to clean and inspect that 3,100 feet of pipe. Specific vendors have been identified, and they will be invited to place a bid. And we're looking to have this completed by the middle of March, right around that area. So I would like to entertain a motion that the village go to bid, to notices were given to prospective bidders that sealed bids will be received by the village of Rouses Point up to 2 p.m. at the village office at 139 Lake Street, Rouses Point, New York, on February 12, 2010, as described in the specifications and contract documents for contract 2010-01, cleaning and internal condition assessment of the village sewer lines, dated January 20, 2010.
I'll second it.
Moved by trustee Roberts, seconded by trustee Becker. Worthy treasurer, question. You told me that this is a service, not a, that we could probably get 3 quotes and save all the bid process.
We need to get 3 quotes.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, instead of advertising for bids, we should go to the companies and ask them to quote it, give them the specifications, so they're willing to pay for all the advertisement and everything else.
So, yeah, it's a specialty service, so.
Yeah, okay. That's all right, we'll still leave it the way it is. I just want the board to know that, we have an option. Any other discussion? There being no other discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next on my agenda is I'd like to make a motion that we authorize Brian Gelano and Eugene Leclerc to attend a training seminar in Plattsburgh. The seminar will be held on March 10th, 2010, and is sponsored by the New York Rural Water Association.
I'll second that.
Moved by trustee Roberts, seconded by trustee Baker. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, vote by the usual sign of aye.
Aye.
And the last thing on my agenda, I'd just like to report that Acromax will be donating various office supplies and equipment to the Rouses Point Fire Department. Basically, they have numerous desks and cabinets and fireproof filing cabinets. They're basically giving it to us at no charge. The only thing we have to do is store it and do it as we feel fit. So what we're gonna do is we'll store it at the sewer plant for now, and we'll give it to nonprofit organizations as they need it. They can notify anybody in the fire department, and we'll see that they're given what they need. This includes the village or Village of Champlain, churches, whatever. And whatever's left come July, during the 4th of July celebration, we'll probably have an auction to get rid of all the remaining supplies and cabinets and whatnot. We're gonna use it as a fundraiser for the fire department. Just an FYI. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for providing that storage area.
Okay, thank you, trustee Roberts. That's it, guys.
Yes, sir.
Tracy, got any words of wisdom for us tonight?
Not that I can.
Arsen, we got two bills.
Yes, I want to apologize for being late. I pulled in the driveway and I got out of the car. Forgot my briefcase. So now darn, I gotta go back and get
We
it.
figured we were gonna deduct your salary.
The first addition is tonight's sick is $37,936.09.
Small
It's
bill.
our monthly bill. And the other one is the FIA card services, that's the credit card. $41.35 for safety school expenses for the line crew, and $29.16 for health department meeting for the water crew.
We already approved them,
And
without your presence.
so I could throw a few more on the list, and I don't know if you guys don't even know about it.
No, if we say two.
Two. I just want to also report too that the closing for the serial bond for the Civic Center is going to be on Monday, January 25th. We obtain a 5-year serial bond. It's non-callable, and it will mature January 25th, 2015. That's 5 years, and the rate is 4.25.
How much?
4.25. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Arsen. Brian? Oh. That's fine. I open the meeting up to the public this time. Anybody that wish to address the board, may do so. With that, we're almost in a record. I need a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Second it?
Moved by trustee Baker, seconded by trustee Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Carried at 29, 7:29, 29 minutes. That's not